So hello everyone. I hope everything is groovy at your end. I hope you all are doing excellent at your end. So today, this is their Lakshit Pandya, host for today, working for Azure Developer Community, organizing so many sessions and domain specific session on Microsoft Azure. And today we are going to talk about Microsoft Azure Security, and we have Subendu Shubham with us, and he is Azure Developer Lead in Azure Developer Community, and he has been working, in incredible work he's been doing in the Microsoft Azure and the Azure security field. So we were just having some conversation regarding the Azure security in the backend process. Then we saw the comment, when it will start. So that's how we just got into this. So yeah, so not wasting much more time, I'll just give the stage to Suvendu. So Suvendu, over to you.
Hi Lakshit, thanks for the wonderful intro. So hi folks, today we will gonna start Azure Security, and to be very honest, like I don't have prepared slide for this session because it's totally gonna like hands-on session, and I will write over my whiteboard, and so I will like to share my screen. Okay, so Lakshit, do I have access of sharing screen?
Yeah, so in the navbar you can see the one share button. So you can just go through
Oh, 1 minute.
share. Click on share and share entire screen, not the slides, extra camera or video file. Share entire screen. There is the last option, share screen.
Okay, let me switch off my camera and see. Lakshit, I am not getting an option.
Okay, so can you rejoin again, so that maybe it's like a technical glitch
Sure.
sometimes. So yeah, so guys, Shubhendu will be joining in just a minute. So till then you can just join our Discord server. We have some amazing folks having incredible experience over there who are there to solve your queries, solve your doubts and everything, irrespective of the domain you just want to in. So you can just join our community. So the link is in your screen. And okay, so yeah, so Shubhendu is here. Perfect. Shubhendu, now you are getting the share screen thing.
I am just getting private comment section settings, not.
So alongside settings, there should be a share option, I guess.
No, I'm
It
not.
will.
It should be there, but I'm not sure why it's not visible.
So just a second. So everything is fine at my end. So everything is working fine, guys. So just wait for a couple of seconds. I guess he is facing some technical errors, so he might be rejoining again, so that you can get over it. Unless and until if you have anything to share about your how's your weather there, so you can just drop in the comment section. So yeah, okay. So let's. And guys, those who are very new to the cybersecurity field, you can enter Microsoft Azure thing. You can just go to the Microsoft Azure official documentation, and trust me, this is the best way to learn anything, any technology about Microsoft and Microsoft security. There are some hands-on sessions too where you can just get over it. So you can learn about security center, application gateways, directories, and DDoS protection and keep up everything that you just want to know about Azure security and Sentinel and all these things. So yeah, Subhendu is here. So Shubhendu, are you able to share your screen now? Maybe.
I think Lakshit, I am joined with tab. That's why I'm not getting sharing screen. Shall I join with my laptop?
Yeah, possibly that could be a reason. So please join with your laptop.
So,
Yeah, so I was talking about Microsoft Azure security. So how you can just secure your key vaults, how Azure information protection works. So what are the resources Azure provides you? So there, how the detection of threats with early unique intelligence you can get through a Microsoft Azure. So going through the Microsoft Azure documentation is the best way for you all. That's what I will suggest, and expert will suggest that too, because all these Microsoft security related documentation are curated with years of experience, and with a bunch of a board of experts have created all these documentation. You can just go through it. Also, if you want to learn something new, so there are multiple resources that Microsoft Learn provides, where you have the labs access. So you get the sandboxes. You if you don't have Microsoft Azure credit passes, you can just go through our portal. Today at 7 p.m. we'll be having a quiz too at our portal. So you can just join our Discord server. We will be hosting a quiz on Microsoft Azure Secure, not on Azure Security, some basic quizzes on Azure. So you can just go through it. If you might be getting some Azure passes that would be worth of $100 or something like that. So yeah, do participate in the quiz. I hope you'll be getting the Azure passes. So it's the 13-day initiative of Microsoft Azure, and we are also coming up with lots of boot camps, lots of initiatives, so that you can just upskill yourself in the best way possible. Yeah, so that's it from my side. So yeah, so let's wait for yeah. So Shubhendu is here. Shubhendu, I hope now you are getting the sharing option.
Still not. I am not sure. Like last time I did, it was working.
So yeah, so just a second. I'm just okay. Let me give you some other access to this screen. So just a second. Just wait for a second. Till then, you can just open your cam and tell the students thoroughly what Azure Security looks like. I'll just arrange this for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, folks. Like sometimes it happens. Like we do have glitches. It's a part of production and everything. So like before Lakshit gives me access, just I will brief introduction about cyber security and all those things. Like why should everyone should learn the security part? Just a simple question I do ask to everyone. Like we day to day daily life, we do have apps, website where we do sign up, all those things. Like, have you ever wondered how these all those scenario gonna work behind the scene? What happens like if someone nowadays like seamless sign up has already in production. Suppose if you are signed up with Zomato, they won't ask every time you log in. They just ask you phone number and OTP gets, and you give permission, and OTP automatically fetch your OTP box, and it got successfully signed in. Like it looks so easy for user perspective. It's slow for UI perspective. It's so simple, but if you go behind the scene, there are different layers which validate OTP, which validate network things,
Yeah. So
and all those things.
Shubhendu,
And yes, sir, Rakshit, I got one message of one email ID. Shall I join
yeah.
with
So
them?
just yeah. So join with that email ID. I'll be sending you the code on WhatsApp. So please use that code to join in. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay. Cool. So guys, one last moment. I beg your pardon. He'll be joining. Couple of just a second. He'll be joining very soon. So we'll just share the things with him. So yeah, guys, Shubhendu will be joining in, just a second. So he'll be there with us talking about Microsoft Azure Security. So I was, telling you. So he was also telling about the OTP thing, how these things are working. So these are pretty fascinating things. If you are just going through random things, if you just have a quick idea like how the security is working. So suppose you are signing up through your mail and okay. So yeah, so just a second. Okay, so Shubhendu, now if you are getting the share option,
1 minute. I'm getting setting invite.
like I have gave you the access, post access of the this stream, yeah. So this might work, I guess.
I think StreamYard has updated their thing. It won't work on.
No, I don't think that's the case because yeah. So are you getting something like this? So let me share my screen. So yeah.
Okay, fine. I will do with laptop again. Just give me 1 more minute. Sorry for glitch.
Okay, cool. So something like this, share screen,
No, no,
something like this.
I
So are
am not.
you getting this?
I
Yeah.
am not
So
getting.
no worries. Yeah. So just go through your laptop. So that would be a better choice, right? So till then, guys, you can just go through these documentation, serve through all these things. And today we'll be talking about how the authentication works. Suppose if you are signing up through your Gmail, through your Outlook, so how the things are, working behind the process. If you are just securing, if you are just signing into the secure cell, HTTPS thing. So how these HTTPS things works? What are the acknowledged packets? There are a lot of interesting things happening behind the process. So if you have, so I'll just ask you to join, to learn about, and some networking concepts and some Linux concepts too, because these are pretty fascinating thing, and this will help you. So irrespective of the domain, it will these topics will help you out in your career. If you know how, so, if you are aware of, if you are logging into a youtube.com, if you are typing suppose https slash youtube.com. So what is happening, how the things are working, so how the signing things are working, what how it is, bringing your cache, your history, your everything, your log files and everything, recommendations, how it is, everything is coming to your end. So how all these things are being managed. So these things are very fascinating, and if you will take a reference from Azure perspective, so it would be way easier for you to join through this, to get into the field of Microsoft Azure security. And let me share my screen and let me tell you. So yeah, so Shubhendu is here. Yeah, Shubhendu, now you are getting.
Yeah, am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So, like, I have planned earlier to share my screen and write something, but I'm not getting share screen with my tab. It's okay, no issue. So I will totally directly jump with. Let me share my screen. Let me know. Is it visible?
Yeah, perfect. It's visible.
Okay, fine. So, like, I just direct go to official documentation of Microsoft where these things work and. Okay, fine. So, like, I hope it's visible to everyone. Just before starting Azure Security and all those things, was talking about how this logging system works and how they authenticate and validate, like if user is uh, perfect. So, like, first question comes in our mind. Today, I won't be writing anything. I don't have any documentation. I have planned to write, but somehow there is a technical issue. So it's okay. I will go through this documentation. I will let you know like how, if you are a beginner, how to explore this documentation, how to start career, and how to start exploring in security part. So before starting this thing, one question always arises: why Azure? Or before going to cloud thing, why security? So like most common thing is like everything is nowadays everything has been deploying or already deployed to cloud. Like it is a decentralized system. Like suppose earlier it used to be like if you have to build a server, you have to buy racks and all those LAN port and WAN ports. yeah, on self, you have to invest all those things and you have to set up a whole infrastructure. But nowadays it's not like, the scenario is not the same. Like, you don't need a whole on setup. There are like cloud vendor providers like Microsoft, AWS, and Google, DigitalOcean, all those things. They have already built their own setup. You just have to go and their subscription plan, and you can hire, you can use whatever is your use case. So coming to like, if you have a application, if you have an app or your infrastructure, so you can host it on our cloud. Why cloud? Again, same thing. Like, if you have, suppose like you have on a website, e-commerce website, and there are a lot more traffics are coming, and if it goes down for one particular reason, then they might, customers might can't access it, right, from that particular reason. So if there is a downtime from one reason, either by outrage and or anything, so it might be difficulty for your business perspective, as well as your customer satisfaction things. So so it is like the best practice is to like scale up it both horizontal and vertical way. Like, anyone, from, suppose if you have a e-commerce site which gives access to customer only in Bangalore or only in India, it's better to host your data server and all those things in nearby regions. Suppose like if their Chennai is the region, host nearby, so that their latency will be very low. And if either of Chennai or Bangalore or Delhi north region goes down, there might be a backup plan. Which best practice, best thing about cloud is you don't have to do it manually. It automatically done by your vendor, a cloud provider. Now coming to this thing, why security? We do have a logic to put a lock in our homes just for our safety issues and all, to keep our things safe. So in the similar way, like we here is like, our app is like our intellectual property. We do have lots of data. We do have to take care part of information, private information of both client side and business side also. So like, if anyone unauthorized person get access of those all precise data, they can easily manipulate those data. They can easily harm with your customer. They can easily update, and even they can even shut down your whole entire system, which will be totally disaster. So that's why we do practice the security. And for security, it's not like, okay, we will think about afterwards if something attacks happens. It's like day to day practice, and we must have to do practice before it happens. Like, nowadays there are two teams, red team and blue team. In security, we generally categorize it like red team and blue team. So also like, as the name suggests, red, it indicates something wrong is there. So like red team practice like pen testing. Like they willing inside the team, we have group of people called red and blue team. So blue team always protect, work on defensive side. Like if something attacks are coming, they are the first responder. So below the blue team, it might be like SOC team, which will be like first person who detect and check or whatever incidents are coming. So incidents are nothing, just incident is a threat. Like whatever we have set the rules or regulations in our security, it's like threat. Uh, so before going to all those things, so these are the basic scenario. And red team works on like offensively working to like how weak these systems are, to check. They do pen test testing. They do man in the middle attacks willingly on their own system in controlled environment, so that it won't affect business perspective also. And they will have prepare plan if something happens in such scenario, what to do, and who will the first responder. So like, coming to part, Azure is like leading in the market in cloud security. It's like it's an awesome community. That's why people choose Azure, and lots of organizations have already moved to their product to Azure. So if we go to Azure security documentation, it's on official site doc. This thing. Let I will share this to chat also. If anyone who have want to learn, I am just putting in comment section. Give me one more minute.
Yeah, so right now we don't have any questions so far. So
Okay, okay, fine. No, I'm just putting this in comment section, Lakshit. Uh,
Yeah, so you can just directly put that we have the host access. You can just put directly into the comment section.
I am not getting to paste option. That's okay, fine. You just share this link to audience. Like if someone wants to go, it's
Uh,
like doc.
yeah, yeah, I have already shared with them. It's in this
Okay,
link.
okay, fine. Cool. Coming to Azure Security part. The first question arises like if someone is beginner in the security part and how to explore those things. So as you Lakshit were talking about Linux part and Unix shell hands-on experience, yeah, definitely, because most of the things, if you go in production and if you're working on like server side things, so servers don't have like beautiful screens like everyone has. UI part, they are like blank screen with some just command line going on. Even server rooms don't have uh, computer. You just connect with your personal laptop remotely, just by having a private IP or either by LAN. Most of the case, you just go through by yeah, VPNs and then a private IP access. So in that scenario, command line comes to play, and you have to be experienced on hands-on command line. So best practice to start in security part. First, go with basic, at least basic Unix or Linux command line. Then start practicing either by installing main OS or like any like any I will suggest like Ubuntu. You will go with Ubuntu. If you are have to kill like totally deep dive, you just want to in the cyber security part, I will suggest to go with Parrot OS. It's like lightweight. It's again Debian based flavor, so you can easily, if you have Ubuntu experience, you can go with these things. Now, if I hope like if someone has all those things, now they can move to cloud part. So like cloud, if someone asks you what is the cloud, cloud is nothing. It's someone else computer situated at some in Bay Area region or uh, where like all the infrastructures are available, owned by uh, tech giants. Suppose Microsoft, AWS, Amazon, Google, Facebook, even Meta. So these are like tech giants who provide cloud. They have their own infrastructure. So like how to now, now we have prior knowledge of Linux. We have everything. Now I just want to enter into security part. You don't have to do anything. You just have to come in Microsoft documentation and you have to come to Azure Security. Before this, going through this documentation, I will suggest everyone who are the beginner. I will just suggest them to go to this site portal azure.com. Like if you search like portal Azure, your first let me zoom it. So like for this one portal.azure. So like if you are a student, you can use your student credits to get some Microsoft credit. Like I think $200 you will get here, and you can explore like hands-on sessions, whatever is in documentation you can explore, and you can use your own lab sessions. And after this session, there might be some quiz over Discord server. If you attend, you will get some free vouchers, and you can easily access this. I will come to again this part. So let me go again first to Azure Security documentation. So like yeah, it's already created like Azure the public cloud service platform. We support broad selection of all those things. I am not going to all this line by line all those things. I'm just telling you like what are the main basic things everyone should know and how to explore all those things. Mm. So here comes the three scenarios. Like whatever, if you go again in Azure part, Azure security part. So security itself a deep dive topic. Okay, so if you go like what the security, it's not like just single portion or single team sitting behind any security part and they are handling everything. There are few category like end-to-end encryption security, like OTP system or login and sign up system where to work, and like shared responsibility. We do have shared responsibility team like who has like access management. They are the responsible for to privilege things, like which team or which team members should have like admin level access, global admin, and just like reader write have access, all those things. And there is a team called Detect and Mitigation Threat Team. We generally call it the SOC team, who are the first responder of all the threats. So their work, like they have to there might be a dashboard which I will show you in Azure portal in just few minutes. And they have to detect, and there are a few rules set up. Whenever there is incident trigger, they have to go and manually check either by like some script or just by exploring the log sources. Like, is that offense or incident triggered was genuine or not? If it is an internal incident, you have to report to internal team, and you have to proper justification why this thing happened. Afterwards, these are the first layer of generally done by detect and mitigation threat team. We generally call it SOC. And afterwards, there is a second layer of the team in SOC itself. If something is from like admin access, they need to more examination to be done. They send it to layer 2, which we call L2 level of SOC team. So L2 level of SOC team are just the people group of the team who has access of like share responsibility settings, and they have access. They might have access of admin, but most of the time they don't have admin access. They just have access to set up the rules and responsibilities. Again, they cross verify all these things. Is that incident means nothing, just a threat. So incident was perfect, or again it should be examined. If they need more justification, then it will send to L3 levels, and L3 levels are just like on-site sitting people uh, in the premises of security cloud, where cloud has hosted all those things. So first thing is called comes to in scenario is Azure Sentinel. Sentinel is a SIEM tool, security incident event management tool. It's cloud-based tool. And if you let me go better, I will show you how same tool looks like. So if I go, let me search Sentinel. If you just go, if you have a subscription plan in Azure, if you don't have also, you can explore all those things. And so if you go there, so say Microsoft Sentinel looks like this. Wait, let me increase one little bit more font. So Microsoft Sentinel is the same tool, and if you have to, uh, right now I don't have anything like, because I am using the community version, so I don't have anything rule set up it here. So if you have anything, it will come there. For creation, if you have just have to create a click on the creation, it will ask to add a workspace first. If you have already workspace, you can filter it from here. If you don't, you have to create a workspace here. See, here also Microsoft Sentinel offer 31-day free trial. Like, if you are a student, if you just want to how all those things works, you can if either of your you have a portfolio, GitHub portfolio, anything like simple website, web app, which you owned by your own self, you can test all those things by putting Microsoft Sentinel, and giving the target location to your URL of that thing, so that if anything threats happening or anything unauthenticated logins or many visitors are coming, you will easily have a dashboard, and you can come to know how all those things and how filtration of IPs works. So again, coming back to Sentinel, here second thing, Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Defender is just like part of the Sentinel. Where do we use we do configure Microsoft Defender in Sentinel also, so that like if you have inside a team, a person who don't have a subscription or proper privilege, and those people or those team members are trying to access or something, it will easily detect by Microsoft Defender, and it will protect our production thing. So again, Microsoft Defender provides a clear dashboard, and where a SOC team or first responding person team, they can easily access, and they can come to know like how all those things are working. Azure Resource Manager is again here. Let me show you better. Before going to Azure Resource Manager, I will like to tell something. Here is the like subscription. Subscription will work on if you click on subscription. So it will show you like what subscription you have already have, and Identity governance is there. Where do you set the rules? Let me open in new tab also. A key vault is where we store all the certificates. Generally, you store key certificates here or in. So here you come to subscription part. You can see like it's active in state. I have a subscription of this thing. Let me click it here. Say like it's I am using community version by confirm, so it's showing me configure this thing Azure plan, subscription plan in this thing, and it's here it's like showing you me as forecast of all those things, and this is more all about security part. So I will go in more in security things. I won't go in all those things, budget and all things. See, like I am using community part and I don't have access to privilege, all those things. Let me check what I am. So I am a control is gives you identity management access. So if you click it here, so my subscription is controlled by some confirm technology. So I have a role of honor, which I have all description to grant access to manage all those things. If we click in honor, you will come to know like what are the permissions I have and what is the owner means. Better I will go in JSON format or assignment. So see, I have here grant access of full or resource management, including ability to assign role in Azure. Like I can assign a role to anyone. If you want to, if I want this to share or add any user, dummy user to test something or have a session, so I can use because I have ownership and I have. So where this comes from? It comes from uh, access control and identity access management tool. So one more thing I would like to add it here, key vault where we do, and there's one more thing called Azure Active Directory. It's called go Azure Directory. This one Azure Active Directory. Here also we do store all over our certificates. I'm not sure what. See here I have free licensing, so like I can store. Not enabled. Azure Active Directory is not enabled because I haven't connected it. And so these are the three basic things which whenever you come to a cloud part, you have to be know. Uh, you have to know like what is IAM, incident identity access management, PAM tools, privilege access management tools, and there is a PIM tool also where they manage identity and what is resource group and all those things. So again, if you go here in this slide, Azure Monitor, Azure Monitor is nothing just like a UI tools for a team member, so they can easily monitor Azure logs and resource logs, what incidents are happening here, and advisor is like if you need some kind of templates like how the gonna things work. So these have community based things, and let me click on new tab also. While it's opening, I will go and this thing, general Azure security, what's called Microsoft Defender for cloud. What it do is cloud workload protection, which provides security management. Like you don't have to go anywhere else. The best part to learn cloud itself is their own documentation and their own community itself. So if you go, if you are a beginner, the best practice is to go and visit port docs.microsoft/Azure Security. You will land all this part, and you will come to know if you do all those things, and you have community or a student subscription, you can easily go and do hands-on session. Previous one, I had one session on network security, so you can go there and check those videos how to set up inbound rules, outbound rules, and you can test and play with your own simple website. You can deploy over Azure, you can test it, and you can put your credentials in Azure Key Vault, so, and you can monitor using these things, and even you can have like suppose we know the Tor browser. If you don't know what is Tor browser, it's like based on onion things. Because why I'm talking about Tor browser here, like there is a incident management in Azure Security itself. If whenever you do rule setting, they will ask, do you want to trigger an incident when there is like anonymous IP login? Suppose your production is in India itself, and none of your team members are outside of the India or like some South Africa country. Those things. If someone is logging from South Africa frequently, then it might be fishy. But just for testing purpose and learning things, you can't visit different countries. And if you use VPN also, it will work fine. But again, VPN will fetch your MAC address, and again it will show like it's from India itself. Just for testing things, you can visit Tor, download the Tor thing, Tor browser, where it will bounce your IP and it won't disclose your MAC address. And if you have Azure portal and you have already logged in, suppose like I have this subscription. If I log in from Tor browser, if I download Tor browser and then I log in same my own subscription, so it will if I have set up identity rules, like if someone is accessing from different region frequently in this thing, so it will trigger an incident. So again, SOC team or like first person of contact, they will come to know there in like malicious login. They will ask the user, they will for proper justification for the user why this thing is happening. If user denies it's not his activity, then mitigation should be done, and then they create a incident, and they do create a proper action, and they generally block those IPs. Why I'm talking about Tor, because it easily helps you to bounce your IPs, and it prevents and hides your original identity. So you can check there. And again, coming to last more few things, I will overview. As you Active Directory roles here, you can again set up the roles like here, manage access. If you click on manage access, I don't think I have any roles. Again, see, for it required premium to licensing. I have community based license, so one thing these are not working. But if is there, you if you have proper licensing, you can work. You can check there. Access reviews, again, it won't work. It's late showing a 403 error because I don't have access. That's fine. Again, what is Azure Advisory? It's like personalized cloud consultant. Even there's option called you can set up the call with Microsoft, even cloud provider team if you have facing in anything problem. But most of the time, whatever your problem is, it's available in the portal. For its beginner session, so it's better practice to go and see. This is the pen testing. Testing. These are generally done by red team. Where red team is like offensive team. We generally call them offensive team, and offensive team do testing. Which pen testing is just like ethical hacking. If you have control in control environment and you with proper permission, there is nothing called ethical hacking in the production world. It's called pen testing, and cloud engineer, cloud security engineers, SOC team, and all those things team. And so this is called WAF, Web Application Firewall. Firewall is just like a brick between you and the client side, and it will filter out the whatever malicious IP on based of your rule setting and all those things. So WAF is again is a firewall tool we generally use, and we generally deploy a WAF, Azure Directory, Azure, and this thing monitor logs, either of Azure Security Sentinel, whatever we are using. We generally use all those three combined services in say, cloud security part. Again, web server diagnostic and application diagnostic, and storage is like just like either you can use if you are using have already you are in MongoDB, you have used in your production, you can easily mitigate all the, migrate all your data in Azure with Cosmo DB. There is a concept of Cosmo DB in itself. I will search and let you know how it looks like. Azure Cosmo DB. So I don't have a thing. If you can just to create a Cosmo DB account, you can uh, create it and you can connect it whatever you existing. You don't have to again shift your whole data to from MongoDB to here. You just have to create a proper things. Say here also Azure Cosmos API DB. You can where like all data should be whatever is data in MongoDB already. It's easily fetched in Cosmo DB using Cosmo DB API. Here these are the things you can do. Here it's also support graph and Cassandra for like database services. We can create a table. Core SQL recommendation is also there. Even if you have a beginner, you can go here and there learning resources. You can click on here and you can go through these documentations. Again, I think advisories. Here are a few things sample. Now I want to show you one few dashboard because on my subscription it's not here, so it might be here in documentation itself how it looks like, and I will afterwards I will ask and I will take questions if it's there. See, huh? So this is like architecture of express routeway. So how these things work? So customer network is like any user outside of your production environment. They are called as client or customer. Here the partner is means either of like if you are in Azure part, so your partner is might be Office 365 or this thing. Suppose you are in a company where you have a Microsoft Team access, and in team you in your company there are 5 people working in your company, and you want to give access to everyone team access, but you don't want to give everyone as an admin access. You just want to use to user access so that they can chat, share documents, and just attend the meetings. So here partner is will come again with your like Office 365. You might have licensing and peer. So peer connection, secondary connection, like this is inbound and outbound, all those things. Let me show you like how this is application gateway. I'm looking for incident thing. See how WAF incident WAF. I told you it's like protection between you and production server layer. So WAF is just like a brick wall, which like in our daily things, we do have a boundary for our premises. Like this is our home, and let's keep it secure. Let's keep it bound. We do generally do a boundary outside of our home and land. So like for in production and in these things we do have a WAF which filter out. So there is a tool I like to put it there. IP void. If you go in IP void, so there is like open source tool. If you go and click, so there are like a list of where do all organizations shares, and there you can check what are the blacklisted IP. If you click on anyone of the IP is already blacklisted, you will show how many times these IPs are reported. So this is an open source tool, and you can here see like you can see the find the IPs of all those things. I will like to give you my own blog IP here. Let's see how it works. So here it generally fetched whatever the I think I forgot HTTP. 1 minute. Let's see how it's see. So this is my public IP. How it's fetching? I haven't registered it. It's fetching from like wherever I have. Uh, Let me increase font size one little bit more. See, I put my one of the public this thing. This is my public. And this is my public website. So I click find my website IP and it's showing this thing. If anyone clicks https://1993 or this part, they will visit the same IP. So what this tool does, this is again open source tool, and they do have various bunch of things like IP blacklisted, IP listed, or like who is DNS provider, and like who is using this IP from where, and ping, and IP ping calculator, and DNS, all those things. So basically, why I am telling you this, on the basis of these common things, Microsoft itself provide mm, WAF, where it is this thing. So like WAF, if you click go on the WAF thing, so there is a rule. There is option to set up the rules on the base. If suppose IP is already malicious and it has been reported blacklisted by all different community members, so it automatically detect and tell you WAF like this IP there options. So tick where there, if WAF if the incident triggered from those IPs on your production, Microsoft WAF, Microsoft Sentinel is automatically block those IP. Why? Because it's already blacklisted and reported have bad reputation. Again, it comes OAS top 10. Now OAS have updated their things. For beginners, I must suggest to go with these things. Everyone who just want to, so like this is not a industry level documentation. It's a community based documentation where we do. These are the not top 10 industrial things, but this is a community top 10. Earlier 27 every 5 years they update their documentation. So like 2017 they have thing, and now 2021 they have few things. So from where this data they have collected, they generally practice two or three things. One is first is community, second is they do internal survey. They ask organization to put their report, and on the basis of report they generate and release OF top 10 what are the vulnerability, general vulnerability in the market. So if you go there, so first rank is like again broken access control, which earlier was at I think fifth or sixth position. So nowadays in 2021, broken access control again with same. Uh, if someone has like suppose I do work in organization, I have a team like my credentials are there. It's working fine for me also, and someone has stole my credentials and they have logged in from some different account. Again, if we have already implemented Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Sentinel, and Azure monitor things, so it will automatically detect like this user, like suppose Vandu used to log in from Bangalore, and all of a sudden same credentials has been used from New Delhi or like Chennai region. So like whoever the SOC team it will be, or first person, they will come to know they're like different geographic location. If they ask me, are you the same person who logged in from different geographic location? If I decline, then it might be considered as the broken access control. Again, cryptography failure is the same. Injection, SQL injection, good for injection. Cryptography failure means like you have encrypted some of the data, and again it's some any script or like malicious portion can decrypt it and in as a plain text. So it's the failure of your hidden message. So it again comes to cryptographic failure, and again server side request for it now. Now these things is at the top like list preferred incident, because nowadays all those things WAF and all automatically detected and block it. So now organizations don't face uh, this kind of attacks. So I just to this is advisory, we don't need right now. Go to again here, and so this was this see if anyone is malicious bot IPs and malicious hack a middleman and just try to log in your production server. There's a WAP, and WAP have already based on WAP top 10 protection rules and whatever community has contributed. So if they can WAP can easily detect it and it can easily block those IPs. If genuine user is there, it will allow you to go there. See, WAF works always. This is the main issue. People forget. Any firewall, it always works from client side to your public side before your production side. Firewall. There is a kind of firewall which also work inside the things, but WAF we do practice and we do deploy with public to client this production side. And this is like global network. And here, if you have using Cosmo DB and SQL, whatever other cloud on premises, you can use this WAF things. So it see if their basic feature, it provides protect us from SQL injection, common HTTP threat protection, HTTP protocol violation, application Apache, these things. And then traffic manager tell you like from which IP address, from which geographic location your production server is getting hit. Internal DNS, what I was talking just now. Internal DNS again is to help us to work inside your thing. Here, let me scroll up. Suppose you have two or three things working. If you have a SQL database and again Cosmo DB, yes, either on the same cloud or another cloud. If you want to communicate between these two things, there must be internal domain name servers settings should be there, so that if a user wants to fetch some data and they want to either by it's stored in SQL, Cosmo DB, the both of servers should be talk to each other simultaneously. So we do have setup called DNS, and that DNS is generally known as internal DNS. Again, Azure DNS is same thing, but here we do set up DNS to work, have a communication between two Azure services. For suppose if you have hosted a web portal, Azure static web portal, or you have a SQL database deployment on Azure, and you want again same tools like Azure Sentinel to host, and you want all three to be connected each other, so it works. We have to set Azure DNS setting, and here we call network security group rules, and we do set up here inbound and outbound rules, like which kind of traffic should be goes inside to outside and outside to inside. Again, security modules we have, virtual machine, VMs backups we do have, site recovery. So main benefit of using cloud, any cloud provider is like we do have 99.99% of like uptime, and we do have site recovery in things. Generally, it doesn't go in normal scenarios, but if something happens, Azure, if your cloud vendor is Azure, they provide Azure site security, site recovery things. So I will suggest each one to go through this documentation, and there are like network security, where do we set best practice denial of service, distributed denial of service protection things. I will suggest to go through these documentations and apply for student things and start exploring things. And there is one more thing I would like to go through. Recently, Microsoft has built. If you go and Microsoft, wait, I have typed Microsoft build, or if you go to Microsoft build site, there is also a learning resource going on. If you do complete any of the resources, you will get one exam voucher for free. But main criteria is you should have like 18 plus, or you have to complete any of the learning resources. So I will definitely suggest to go and let me show you learning zone. So here, cloud skill challenge is going on. So see, so it's like it will end on 21st of the June, and if anyone who goes through these challenges, so if you are in security part, so I will suggest you to go with either for first thing I will go with this thing. I this challenge, or afterwards this thing, Azure Developer Challenge. And if you want to explore all those rest of the challenges, you can go. But if you are keen interested in the security part, I will definitely suggest you this thing. And if you are machine learning enthusiast, you can also go with this thing. It also belongs to security itself. And afterward, this challenge, if you because developer challenge, this is like basic knowledge. Everyone should have to know. If you successfully complete any one of these learning module, you will get notified by Microsoft official mail to your registered email ID, and you will get an exam voucher, and you can do and go. First exam you can go for security part, security fundamentals, either AG 900, I think it's, or you can go. So I will love to take questions if you have, and if you have anything to doubt, how to again go, I will love to answer this. Meanwhile, if you want to connect with me over, you can search on LinkedIn. I don't have slides. I'm active over LinkedIn itself. So if you have to think, you can go. A better thing, you can go just type Hugs for Bugs, where I do write my blogs. So this is my blog where I do write, and if you want to like read anything for security part, what is the blue team, how manage all those things, you can go. And if you want to connect to me, here my social media links will be available. You can connect me easily. So like Lakshit, do we have question?
So far we don't have any questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I just have one question. Like we have seen. Suppose if you are working with emails and all these things, so emails and lots of data and all these things. So we have seen like multiple protocols are working simultaneously. Like SMTP is also working, TCP/IP is also working. So how these all the modules, how these all the protocols are working simultaneously? I just want to ask this one.
It's like there we just now I told you like Azure monitoring and all those things. There's internal DNS. Like for email setup, SMT email setup is there. Okay, so whenever we deploy a production, suppose we have a web server where we do monitor everything, and we do have set email. If incident triggers, it automatically give an email to all associates, like one incident has been triggered to their personal email, like their team email. So on whenever you do select or whenever we do configure a production server there, and when to deploy it to some security SIEM tools, there is an option called like, do you want email notification? We just click on the on, and it automatically, whatever email ID we provide them, and basis of like our privilege, it give the access and it give notification. So coming to your question, how all these emails work simultaneously and connect each other and talk back to each other, it again internal DNS settings, and again internal email SMTP servers, basic server settings, which we provided by itself cloud vendors, and we just have to configure.
Yeah, so perfect. So that's what I was looking forward to get from you. So now, so I just missed out one question. I was just talking about the firewalls and all these things. So what are what are the best projects you will suggest, beginner level projects you will suggest to go for to understand better, to better understand these things, like servers, protocols, and the data packet segmentation, frame, and the OSI layered part? What are the projects you can containing some Azure part also, covering some Azure part also?
Actually, Azure Sentinel itself is open source. If you are asking for beginner things, so for beginner thing is like just going hands-on session, just doing a simple static. Suppose I want to know how firewall works. If someone wants to know how firewall setting works, they don't have to do anything. If they have a Azure subscription, a student subscription, they can deploy their simple website on Azure static website there, and you can configure one day if possible we can do a session like hands-on session, like where we will deploy and check how incidents are triggering. And simply there, if you configure Sentinel with the same IP address, like we do have IP, internal IP and public IP for any website. If you if we put there, it will automatically detect. If you go to some intermediate projects, if you ask for intermediate project, Azure Sentinel itself open source, and there are lots of hackathons going on by Microsoft itself and Sentinel team. Anyone can contribute either in their documentation and a basic setup. If you ask me how to go and check DNS things, basic setup, I will go if you have, or if anyone has any deployed their own portfolio, either on Namecheap. So there they have like DNS setting. You can go through and set up the basic DNS thing. That's how you will come to know how common these things work, like how to set up a custom URL, custom domain. In Azure itself, we do have a custom URL setting where we can attach and DNS part. So just learning or practicing on you go. This is how things work.
Yeah, so that was pretty about my questions. So I'll definitely reach out to if I get some more queries on this. So
Sure.
yeah, so I guess there are no questions from the audience side we have. So let's wrap up the session now. It was very wonderful talking to you about Azure Security, Azure Sentinel, and knowing all these services what are actually working back in the back end processes. So this is what it looks like. So it was an absolute beginner session. And it was really nice interacting with you. I do have some couple of things in my mind going on right now, but I'll just continue all this later on to you on some back to back sessions later. So thank you, Subin.
Sure.
Thank you for joining in. It was very great to have you here, and hoping to collaborate in multiple future events. So thank
Yes.
you.
Sure.